What's up, Karptastic ladies and gentlemen? I am happy to have you here with me for another Meta Monday episode. Meta Monday is that day of the week where we take a look at a competitive deck from the past or the present in a Pokémon TCG online meta. And today I bring you a Giratina deck or a Tina Toad or a Seismitoad deck. There's lots of abbreviations for it, but it's basically a deck based around Giratina-EX as well as Seismitoad-EX. Seismitoad-EX is probably well known by most of you with the Quaking Punch attack, hits for 30 for a DCE, and then we item lock our opponent so our opponent cannot use any item cards. And that's basically what this deck is about locking our opponents from doing things and disrupting our opponent. Another way to lock our opponent is, for example, with the Giratina-EX using the Chaos Wheel, which costs 4 energy, DCE, Grass and a Psychic energy, and does 100 damage. Your opponent cannot play any Pokemon tool cards, special energies or stadiums from his or her hand during the next turn. So we basically, if we use the Giratina-EX against Night March, then the Night March player cannot attack DCEs to the Night Marchers, which is really huge, can be a really powerful card to play against Night March, and also has the Renegade Pulse ability, which prevents all effects of attacks, including damage done to the Giratina-EX by Mega Evolutions. So if we are facing a pure Mega Manectric EX deck, then we basically have an auto win if we only play Giratina-EXs down, because Mega Manectric cannot damage the Giratina-EX. But most of the time Mega Manectric is combined with Regice, and Regice, well, Regice is a problem for this deck because it has the Resistance Blizzard attack, and then it prevents all effects of prevents all damage done to Regice by basic EX Pokemon. And our Seismitoad-EX as well as our Giratina-EX, yeah, they are basic EX Pokemon, so if we face Regice, we will have to get around Regice using Lysandre, for example, Lysandre out the Shaymin, 2 copies of the Lysandre, or using these hammers for Crushing Hammers and 2 Enhanced Hammers to get rid of the energies so that our opponent misses out on a Resistance Blizzard, and then we can use that opportunity to attack with the Quaking Punch or to one-hit KO the Regice using the Chaos Wheel if we slap on a Muscle Band, because then we are doing 120 from the Muscle Band. And that's enough to knock out the Regice. These muscle bands are necessary in this deck because our damage output is pretty low, only 30 with the Toad and 100 with the Chaos Wheel, which is low considered the amount of energy that it takes to power up the Chaos Wheel. We will be powering up our Pokemon using only special energies for DCEs, because DCE works well with both the Seismitoad-EX as well as the Giratina-EX, and then 3 Double Dragon energies, less Double Dragon energies since we cannot use Double Dragon energies on the Toad, we can only use them on Giratina-EX. And if we attach 1 Double Dragon energy and 1 DCE, then this Giratina-EX is ready to go with a Chaos Wheel. So that will be our strategy when we want to get out the Giratina-EX. And now for the rest of the deck, we do play 3 Shaymins for setup, for drawing through our deck. 1 Hoopa-EX with the Scoundrel Ring ability, which allows us to search for 3 EX Pokemon, so we could get out a Giratina, a Seismitoad, as well as a Shaymin. That's probably what we will search for most of the time with the Hoopa. And then 1 copy of Bunnelby with the Omega Barrage, which allows it to attack twice in a turn, so we can use the Rototiller attack for a single energy twice in 1 turn. Which allows us to shuffle a card from our discard pile into our deck. And if it ever comes to using the Bunnelby, we will be probably using the Bunnelby to shuffle back DCEs or Double Dragon energies, or maybe some hammers to continue our disruptive streak against our opponent. We also have some Headringers to disrupt the EXs from our opponents, so that they require 1 more colorless energy in order to be able to attack. We also run Team Flag Grunt for discarding energies, as well as Xerosic to discard special energies or tool cards. And the rest of this line of this deck is pretty straightforward, I think. Ultra Ball, search out our Pokemon, VS Seekers to get back our supporters from the discard pile, 4 Sycamore to draw through our deck, 1 Birch and 1 Judge mainly to disrupt our opponent's hand. One Hex Maniac to get around item lock, Trevenant for example, or Greninja decks for example, or to against Night March decks. When we start off we can play Hex Maniac. That would prevent the Night Marcher from playing down Shaymins to draw through his deck. And then one Cassius, pretty interesting choice I would say to include in the deck. Cassius allows us to shuffle back a damaged Toad or a damaged Giratina in our deck, and also allows us to get those out of the active spot, for example, if we want to switch from the Toad into the Giratina. As well as these Float Stones, they allow the same thing, but since we will mostly be attaching muscle bands to the Toad, if you want to get the Toad out of the active spot, we'll have to use the Cassius, or we'll have to use 4 copies of Super Scoop Up, which acts like the Cassius, except that we don't have to shuffle the card back into our deck, but we can get it back into our hand and out of the active spot. Very handy to scoop up a damaged Toad or Giratina as well. And then that's it. I think the only cards that are left are the stadiums. One Faded Town to use against Mega-EX Mega Evolution Pokemon to increase our damage a little bit, our damage output, because the stadium puts 2 damage counters on each Mega between turns. And 2 Team Aqua Secret Base, a Disruptive Stadium. So we can combine this with the Lysandre, for example, Lysandre out. Let's see, for example, if our opponent plays down a Hoopa of his own, we can Lysandre out the Hoopa, and then if we play down the stadium, then this Hoopa will have a 3 energy retreat cost instead of a 2 retreat cost, making it quite tricky for my opponent to get the Hoopa out of the active spot. And that's it for the deck analysis. I think it is time for us to go into a standard tournament and try out this deck, see if we can get a win in a tournament. We should be able to. This is a fairly competitive deck, tier 2, tier 3, I would say. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video and subscribe to my channel for more competitive, silly and fun deck ideas, and I will see you in the battles. Time to shine. We are here in the standard 6-ticket tournament lobby waiting for players to join. We need 4 more players. Let's take a look at the rewards. 3 breakpoint packs for first place and 2 random booster packs as well. That is 5 packs in total. My gosh, it would be pretty neat if we could pull off the win here and get 5 packs from this tournament with ToadTina. 3 more players. It seems a little bit slow at the moment on players joining, although 1 more just joined. So if this takes a long time, I will cut and be right back. But it seems like we will... Oh no, never mind. The 8th player just joined, and we are facing Virtuo 2A3 with a water deck. Maybe this is a Greninja deck. Could very well be a Greninja deck. Pretty popular water deck in standard. We get to go second. That's okay. If we can start out with a Toad, I wouldn't mind going second. It would be nice to start off with a Toad as well as a DCE. We don't have a DCE. We don't have much draw support either. We just have a Judge. That's pretty unfortunate. We do have a Crushing Hammer. I guess that's something. And there's a poor opponent. My opponent starts off with a Remoraid in the active spots. That's not what you want to do. Look at that. Secret Rare. Trainer's Mail. Is this going to be an all blinked out deck from Virtuo 2A3? I wonder. Attaches an energy to the Remoraid, so I think we will see a Ion Pool, maybe at some point. That could be a possibility. Let's see. Let's use the Crushing Hammer first. I don't want to waste my supporter turn on the Team Flag Grunt, really. I'll have to go with the Judge. I need to find a DCE right away. I'll attach the Fighting Fury Belt for now to the Toad. And we'll go with the Judge. Too bad the hammer didn't work. And we can't get a DCE. My gosh, this is not good. Not a very good start at all. We'll end our turn. Yeah, this is a terrible start. Maybe I should have gone with the Team Flag Grunt. Discard that energy. Make it a little bit tougher on my opponent. My opponent puts down a Rough Seas. That helps us out, actually. There is a Sycamore from my opponent. Discarding a Greninja break. So this is indeed a Greninja deck. We missed an opportunity here to stop our opponent from getting the Greninja out. We just couldn't get anything going, and now my opponent could get something going, actually. We need to get our item log going ASAP and power up our Giratina-EX. Maybe. Is it actually useful? I don't think so, not too much in this matchup. I will really need to get a Hex Maniac, dig out a Hex Maniac. And there's a DCE, one turn too late. Do I want to promote the Froakie? I don't really want to promote the Froakie. Maybe I do actually. Let's bench the Bunnelby. Do I want to promote the Froakie? I will attack the Remoraid. I'll leave the Froakie on the bench, I think. Or maybe not. No, I will Lysandre out the Froakie. Next turn we can take a knockout on at least the Frogadier then, if the Frogadier comes out. So we will Quaking Punch onto the Froakie. And that Bunnelby on our bench can be a liability if the Greninja Break comes out. Could snipe the Bunnelby right away. But I can scoop it up if I really want to. And my opponent heals up with the Stadium, of course. So we won't be able to take the knockouts. I completely forgot about the Stadium. This is a terrible start of the game here. I'm sorry. Okay, get your head straight. Shining Karp, get your head straight. Alright. We've dilly-daffled around enough. We are... Oh, and a Greninja comes out as well. My gosh. Or not. My opponent went for the Octillery instead of the Greninja. Interesting choice there. I thought we might already see a Greninja and then a Greninja Break in the next turn, but maybe not. This could be a very exciting match here. Oh, my opponent has three water duplicates. Are you kidding me? That's the best you can get. At least we get to discard an energy here. So we'll go ahead and discard an energy. And we will judge. We need some more cards ourselves. And a counter stadium for sure. We need a counter stadium ASAP. We have a Cassius and a Super Scoop Up. So we can actually scoop up the Shaymin if we want to, or the Bunnelby. Or get them back into our deck. And there is a DCE. I'm going to put that on the Tina. On the Giratina. I'd love to go for a Chaos Wheel at some point. And do some more damage that way. We'll also counter the Stadium. And we will just Quaking Punch for now. Hopefully we can get a double Dragon Energy at some point. Might Cassius away the Toad if that happens. Here is the Greninja, which could go for a Moonlight Slash. That would hit for 80 unless we see a Muscle Band, and then it will hit for 100, and it doesn't look like we'll see it. We actually get a Muscle Band. Do I actually need to do anything here? I'll attach the Muscle Band to the Giratina. I don't think I need to do anything at this point. We are not really in danger. I could scoop up the Shaymin for sure. I could do that. Let's see if we can scoop up the Shaymin. We couldn't scoop up the Shaymin. I think I'll Cassius away the Shaymin then. So it's not a target for the Greninja Break. And we will just Quaking Punch away. Slowly but surely at the Greninja here in the active spot. We have a hammer ready to discard an energy if we see an energy. And there's a Greninja Break. Could see a Water Shuriken onto the Bunnelby. That's a sure thing. I'm okay with that. I shouldn't have benched the Bunnelby in the first place. If we don't see a Water Shuriken, I can scoop it up. And there is a Water Energy, so my opponent decides to attach to the Greninja Break instead of going for the Water Shuriken. But might get an energy here. So you might see the Water Shuriken here. We will need 2 more hits on the... yeah, we'll need 2 more hits with the Toads to knock out the Greninja Break. I think my opponent is deciding what to do. I will for sure try to scoop up in the next turn, and I'll probably play down the Hex Maniac as well. Or maybe I should wait for the Hex Maniac. Well, we have two abilities out. There's a Moonlight Slash. Gets the energy back in hand. Let's see. Do I want to scoop up the Toad maybe at some point? I probably will. But I will try to scoop up the Bunnelby for now. Get that Bunnelby in our hand. And then we will use the Hex Maniac this turn. And we will Quaking Punch. In the next turn, I will try to look for... I'm not sure. I will try to look for a double dragon energy, I think, and maybe another scoop up, or maybe the Cassius if we get it. Yeah, I'm not sure. We really need another DCE. Kind of regret putting that DCE onto the Giratina now. If we had a Cassius, we could Cassius the Seismitoad into our deck and then Quaking Punch with this Toad on the bench. But we don't have a Muscle Band for that either, so it wouldn't be a knockout. I just want to knock out this Greninja Break. Right now my opponent cannot do anything except for Shadow Stitching, for example, or the Moonlight Slash, but it goes for a Shadow Stitching, and we will probably counter the Stadium at this point. I think it's a good time to counter the Stadium right now. Get rid of that Bunnelby, and here we get a ton of energies, as well as a Float Stone, but no Super Scoop Up, which is unfortunate. No Super Scoop Up. I think this Toad will go down. I don't see it staying alive. I'll power up the Giratina-EX, and we will Quaking Punch once again for the knockout on the Greninja Break. My opponent just needs an energy for the Water Shuriken, and that would be it. Then it just needs to attack, an energy to attack, Water Shuriken and attack. That would be enough for my opponent. But at least one Greninja Break is gone. There's the Water Shuriken onto the Toad, and then now if we get hit by an attack, we will go down. We could get hit by a Moonlight Slash, or a Mist Slash. This is the other Greninja. Could get hit by a Mist Slash. There is the energy that my opponent was looking for. And we will probably respond with the Giratina-EX, or maybe with the Toad. I just want to get a Muscle Band on that Toad. I really want to get a Muscle Band on there. I'll promote the Toad for now. We have a Float Stone if we want to retreat it. But if we could get a Muscle Band, that would be fantastic. I don't think we'll be able to get a Muscle Band though. Let's have a look here. It's very tempting to use the Hoopa-EX, and I think I will. I'll put down the Hoopa-EX and search for another Giratina. There's a Giratina and a Toad. I'll get out one Toad, discard that Toad probably. I will put down the Giratina. We'll, for now, we'll use the Giratina. We'll power up another Giratina at this point. Should we power up another Giratina? Yes, I think we'll go with the Giratinas for now. We will retreat the Toad into this Giratina-EX, and we'll Chaos Wheel, going for the 2-hit knockout here. Next turn we can put this DCE on the Toad on the bench if we really want to, but I think I will put down another Toad actually. I don't want to put down the Shaymins. They are too easy to knock out for my opponent. I just want to keep the Toad, or put an energy on the Toad so we can potentially go for a Quaking Punch with the Muscle Man for 50. And I really don't want to see any more Greninjas. Right now my opponent can use item cards. And there's an energy retrieval, so we'll see a Water Shuriken most likely. As long as we don't see a chain of Water Shurikens, I feel pretty fine. Water Shuriken on the Giratina. We just need to get as many of these Greninja breaks in the discard pile as we can. There's another energy retrieval. So my opponent is going to use all the item cards that he can. If we can get the item lock in the next turn, that would be fantastic. Item lock with a Muscle Band would be enough. Puts 30 on the Giratina as well, with the baby Water Shuriken there. And still not enough for a knockout unless my opponent returns, unless my opponent uses the Moonlight Slash and returns the Water Energy to hand. That would be enough for a knockout on the Giratina. That would be a bit of a bummer for us. But our opponent needs to retreat then, and needs 2 energies on this Greninja to retreat because of the stadium. So I don't think we'll see it happen. Oh, there's a Max Potion. Are you kidding me? Max Potion. That is pretty big and attaches another energy. Oh, that was huge. And my opponent's down to 14 cards. Needs to be careful for the deck out there. Needs to be careful for the deck out indeed. Here we go, Miss Slash. Ideally, I would like to get a Scoop Up now. And we get another Toad. Well, another Toad. I will discard everything I have in my hand here. I don't have any use for it right now. No use for it anymore. There's a Muscle Band. And there's a Scoop Up as well. I will hopefully Scoop Up the Giratina, and I do indeed get rid of that nasty damage. We will promote the Toad. We even have a Cassius to shuffle back the Toad into our deck if we really need to. Look at that. Amazing stuff here. We'll item lock the Greninja in the active spot. And we are looking pretty good right now, I think. We just need to get rid of this Greninja, and we can do so in the next turn. We can get rid of this Toad here and knock out the Greninja break in the active spot. A Miss Slash for 60. And probably a baby Shuriken as well. There's the Fisherman going to get back some energies. 4 energies from the discard pile to be exact, to be precise. My gosh, what a tense matchup this is. What a long matchup as well. I'm very lucky that my opponent couldn't get out another Greninja out there on the bench. Because I think he has another one somewhere. Probably in the prizes then. Attaches to the Greninja on the bench and goes for a Miss Slash. So next turn that will be a knockout on the Seismitoad. We'll probably Cassius the Seismitoad into our deck and go for the knockout with the Giratina here. We have the VS Seeker to do so. So we'll go with the Cassius. Could go with a Hex Maniac in the turn after that. Here we go. And that's all we need to do for now, I think. We'll hit for the Chaos Wheel, hit for the knockout. And make it a little bit tough on our opponents. Right now we are finally equal in prizes. That took us a really long time. My opponent needs a Super Rod of some sort to get back the Greninja breaks, that's for sure. Needs to find that Super Rod, which he can do now. We gave him a turn of item cards. We had no choice. We needed to give my opponent a turn of item cards. 1 Greninja break. 3 Greninja breaks are in the discard pile. We won't see any more Greninja breaks, I think. I think this is it for the Greninja breaks. Unless we see a Super Rod right now. There's an Evo Soda. I just don't want to see the Super Rods. Fails, Super Rod fails. Pardon me, Evo Soda fails. That is pretty big. No more Greninjas, that means they are prized. Hopefully the Super Rod is prized as well. That means we only need to get rid of this Greninja here. And I would prefer to do so by item locking, so that my opponent cannot use the Super Rod. If he does not use the Super Rod now, I will retreat the Giratina and start item locking. We get hit for 80. Again, that's fine. Yeah, I will. Let's take a look. We have one VS Seeker in the discard pile. 2 VS Seekers. We should have one more VS Seeker somewhere. Do we have a Lysandre? We do have a Lysandre. I will Cassius again. I'm going to Cassius again. Get rid of the Giratina. And I'm probably going to get a Toad out with the Ultra Ball, get rid of this Headringer as well as a Shaymin. No need for the Shaymins. We'll get the Toad here and we'll attach a Muscle Band. And should I actually just... no, I'll Cassius the Giratina. Maybe I should have kept the Shaymin in hand. I kind of regret getting rid of that Shaymin now. But we probably will draw into one at some point. Or at least into some more draw support. I'll put down this Giratina. And we will Quaking Punch. Item lock our opponent. Preventing him from using that Super Rod. My opponent's down to 7 cards. Our opponent can just keep using the Moonlight Slash for sure. That will take 3 hits total. And in 3 hits we have knocked out the Greninja. So we will knock out the Greninja before the Greninja can knock us out. And that's the plan here. We get a Muscle Band. Not too keen on that top deck. We'll Quaking Punch again. If my opponent cannot find the stadium, we will have the knockout in the next turn. And then I think we are golden. We just have to stay alive after that. Unless we see a Muscle Band right now, that would be retreats into the Froakie. That is trouble for my opponent then. That is trouble for my opponent. It's clear that my opponent cannot do much here. We have a Scoop Up to scoop up the Toads. We'll go with the Quaking Punch. All we need to do is keep item locking. That's all we need to do at this point. We won't see any more Greninja breaks if we can keep item locking. And it sure seems like we can. Goes for a bubble. It's going to try and paralyze us. Which did work. Which did work indeed. That's pretty funny. Let's scoop up the Toads. And we will promote the other Toads. Item lock again. We can't miss a beat on the item locks. Let's see here. Yeah, we don't need to do anything else. We'll just item lock once again. And we can go for a Lysandre in the next turn. Our opponent is just going to paralyze us or attempt to paralyze us. Should be Tails now. We had 1 heads already. And doesn't get an energy. Doesn't get an energy. Pretty interesting that is. I will go for the knockout on the Greninja there on the bench, I think. Or maybe not. I don't know what to do here. Because I don't want to get paralyzed by the bubble. Let's take a look. We have 1 energy in the discard pile. 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just going to Quaking Punch again. I'm going to take my chances here. Hopefully my opponent doesn't get an energy. I want to get rid of this Froakie. Don't want to see any more Froakies. And there it is. We will knock out the Froakie. We will attach this Double Dragon energy to the Giratina. Get rid of this Froakie, and I think we have the game then. All we have to do now is Lysandre out that Greninja on my opponent's bench, and then we are safe forever after. And my opponent is very near to decking out as well, so even if my opponent would be able to knock us out, I don't think he can knock out 2 EXs within 2 turns here. So this will be it. Quaking Punch for the knockout on the Greninja. We are already down to 1 minute 34, 33. So time was nearly called. Took us a long time to deal with this Greninja deck. But we managed to. Barely, but we did. And a Moonlight Slash on the Toad. I think it's time to promote another Toad then. We'll promote this Toad with a Muscle Band. We'll retreat this one. We'll keep just hitting for the Quaking Punch. Still don't want to see a Super Rod. I don't want to allow my opponent to put some Pokemon back into his deck. And right now he will deck out. If we don't see a Judge, he will be the deck out. Might see a Lysandre. My opponent says good luck. I will say tie. Thank you. And that's it. That's game. We won the first round of the tournament after a very intense and long match. But what a nice match it was. ToadTina against Greninja Break. I want to take a look at the stats here. Ooh, wow. Half the challenge was fulfilled there. I think we did a ton of damage indeed. 810 versus 810 from my opponent. That is... Oh, look at that, cards drawn. 62 versus 62. How about them apples? That's pretty cool. Seismitoad-EX MVP versus Greninja Break. Heads flipped 5 versus 3 for my opponent. Oh, I think the next round of the tournament is about to begin here, quite logically. That we were the last ones to finish. We were nearly down to time. And it looks like I'm gonna stop myself right here in the middle of my words, because this video is gonna stop here, unfortunately. The recording took a long time. The entire tournament took about an hour, and that's a lot of video for me to process in one day. So I'm gonna split it up in 2 parts. You just watched the first part. Let's open up an uncommon chest while we talk. The second part with the second round and possibly a third round, you will see tomorrow, will be uploaded tomorrow. So on Tuesday we get a Swampert here, and it will be about half an hour long as well. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for the next round. Quite an exciting round as well, and possibly a final round in a tournament for the 5 booster packs. I'll end this video after this final uncommon chest. Can we get something nice? Nope, we cannot. But you'll get something nice tomorrow, an extra video, an extra tournament video. So leave a like if you enjoyed this video, subscribe to my channel for more competitive, silly and fun deck ideas, and I'll be seeing you tomorrow.
Karp, 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 Karp.